So this is our big promo for tonight. In the next 1 hour or so, we'll be bringing you back everything that happened here at Ashesi University. Behind me, you can see that Dr. Muhammadu Bawumia is now taking questions at the tail end of the event. This has been an eventful event, and you can see that all the students are gathered here in a very beautiful space here at Ashesi University at Brekuso.
Today, I will be speaking about our economy. We have achieved so much over the past 5 years. This includes creating more jobs in our first term than any other first term government since 1992.
So don't go anywhere. Tune in to Good Evening Ghana at 9 o'clock or sometime soon thereafter, and we're going to bring you everything that happened here at Ashesi University. Dr. Bawumia spoke about the digitalization economy. He also took time to talk about some of the promises that he made and how those promises have been. Okay, so Alhaji Muhammadu Bawumia has just finished. You are watching Good Evening Ghana, and we are at the Ashesi University. Dr. Gideon is here with me. Dr. Gideon Buako is the director of the Vice President Affairs, and he is responsible for putting this together. Congratulations, it's been a very good program.
Thank you very much, Paul. Your advice was taken on board.
Well, but put this in context for us. What has the Vice President been talking about? What is digitalization?
But actually, there are two terms: digitization and digitalization. Digitization is basically transforming data from analog into digital form. For instance, if you go to the Lands Commission or the Birth and Death Registry, there are a lot of piles of papers there. Once you copy or you transform the data, the information on the papers into a digital form, you have digitized. And then once you begin to leverage on the digitized data to cause effect, to transform processes, to make life easy for people, that process of using the digitized data to cause effect and transform society and make things easier for people is what we call digitalization.
Okay, so people are saying that, okay, here is Dr. Muhammadu Bawumia, the star of the 2016 campaign. He said a lot of things. We don't have money in our pockets, nurses are suffering, teachers are suffering. And somebody says that they can repeat the same chorus today, because today they can say nurses are suffering, teachers are suffering. So really, the things Dr. Bawumia said, has it happened?
Yeah, really, it's just a matter of putting things in context and whether or not when he said those ones, what he meant have been solved. At the time, the Vice President talked about teacher trainees, and teachers are suffering because teacher trainees had allowances that have been stopped by the previous government. What has his government done? When it came to power, they restored the allowance. So you wouldn't say in context that all the sufferings of teachers have been wiped off, but the suffering that was onto a teacher trainee just because his allowance was not coming, that suffering has been taken away. He said nurses were suffering because nursing trainees were given allowance and it stopped. But now that allowance has been restored. So it means that suffering is gone. Doesn't mean that the nurse does not have any other sufferings at all. People have multiplicities of sufferings. But insofar as his government or the government of President Akufo-Addo has been able to mitigate the suffering some way based on the communication they had with the people of Ghana, I would say by and large a solution has been provided. Doesn't mean there has been totality of the problem eradicated. Yeah.
I see. So when people say there's no money in their pocket and they think Dr. Bawumia told them there'll be money in their pocket, there's no money in their pocket, what do you tell them?
It is true that you are not likely in any society to have everybody having his or her wishes met. That is why we say human wants are insatiable. And so even if I'm eyeing to get a car, when I get a car, I need a new house and all of that. I wouldn't say this government has been able to solve all the problems of everybody. But what is apparently clear is also that government has put in place measures that takes a certain burden over the shoulders of the people. For instance, once government instigated or implemented the free senior high school policy, what it means is that if a parent had to use his pocket money to pay the school fees, that money goes back to the parents' coffers. Once government comes with policies like increased school feeding and all of that, there are policies that government put in place to mitigate the sufferings of people. It does not mean, in effect, that government has wiped off all the problems of people. So we'll continue to have expectations as people, and insofar as we have expectations and some expectations unmet, we'll continuously say that we have deficiencies in terms of economic power. But that does not mean that there hasn't been any solution to the problems that existed before.
Congratulations. Did you win an election?
Yes, I did.
Okay. What are you studying?
I'm studying Management Information Systems.
MIS. Okay, so how important was this lecture to you? What was your high point of the lecture?
I think my high point of the lectures was when he introduced how well the Ghana card will be integrated with all of the systems that we have, like the DVLA, the port systems, the passports. It really showed how much work has been put into moving Ghana into a new generation.
And you like that?
I really do.
So how old are you now?
Right now I'm 20 years old.
Okay, 20 years old. So let's sort of bring it into the political context. If we bring it to the political context, what can you say about Dr. Bawumia and his government?
I definitely think that in Ghana there's a lot of talk around politics in general. So I'll do my best to stay apolitical. But I would say that in terms of what this government has been able to achieve, we can definitely see that they've laid the groundwork for a lot of change that's going to happen. That is very clear from this talk that we've had, from the research that they've done, from some of the things that we're already beginning to see. It's very clear that they've made some steps forward, and the next government to come should continue from that, so that there's a certain level of continuity which brings Ghana to a point of peace and unity.
What's your name?
My name is Tobias Echowood.
Tobias Echowood. Thank you very much.
Thank you as well.
Okay, let me talk to you now. You are not the SRC president, are you?
No, I'm not.
Are you the vice SRC president?
No, I'm not.
You don't have any post?
I am a Judicial and Electoral Council representative.
Judicial and Electoral Councilor representative. That's a big one.
I guess so, but not as big as my counterpart here.
What are you studying?
Business administration.
What did you make of this?
To be honest, I saw it as the beginning of something great. As Toby mentioned, it's laying of the groundwork, and I feel like this government has created a framework that we can build on. And seeing the different industries that he's touched on and the essence for digitization within each industry, sometimes you don't even realize how much digitization is necessary for the advancement of an industry like healthcare or an industry of property tax. And so I feel like the groundwork has been created, and all we need to do is now build on it. So,
how old are you these days?
I'm 21.
21, okay. What are you studying?
Business administration.
So you also agree that from what Dr. Bawumia is saying, a certain foundation that was needed has now been laid, and that we are now ready to take off.
Exactly. He mentioned something within the speech. He did say that we're not where we are, but we're at a great start. And I feel like what needs to happen is we need to have a continuous system where we build on every government's process. We don't have a start-stop system. And once we keep on building, we're definitely going to catch up with the great economies that we look up to these days.
SRC President, Dr. Bawumia also talked about the road, and he promised that the road will be done. How did it come to you?
I mean, I am very happy that he was able to talk about it and address it. We were told last year that was put in the national budget. So having him address it here and now, I believe is going to hold the nation accountable, right, to doing better. Not just.
But this is not the first time a politician of high standing is coming here to say that.
Yes, that is true. That is also true.
But that's why I bring in Dr. Gideon Boako. Doc, this is not the first time. I was walking around the students, and they heard it, and they were clapping about the road to Ashesi. It's a very bad road. And they were saying that, but this is not the first time they've had a high-profile politician come here to say that. Will the road be done?
Yeah, maybe they've not heard it from the vice president. So we give the benefit of the doubt, and I know for sure that indeed the vice president did speak to the roads minister before he came here. Earlier he had discussions with Patrick Awuah on the roads, And Patrick also expressed his concern about the rules. So the vice president took the step to find out what was happening, and indeed he got that assurance from the minister that beginning next year the contractor will be on the road. It's a road for which funding has already been sought. It was a Kuwaiti fund, that is what the vice president mentioned it. So it is not something that is going to be thought about now. Government had already thought about it, planned for it, secured funding for it. It's just for the contractors to start moving to site and begin the construction. So I have no doubt that this road shall be done. Yeah.
Let me get you in, my lady. What's your name, please?
My name is Princess Asante.
What are you studying?
I'm studying Management Information Systems.
MIS. What did you make of this?
It was a very interesting speech. I definitely learned a lot about what's being done to develop my country, and I'm extremely proud to see the progress that has been made, especially from a technological point of view. I definitely think that these improvements would definitely improve our country, and I'm very happy to hear what's happening.
What was your high point? What is your most important aspect of the speech?
For me, hearing about Zipline and what they're doing to deliver healthcare, I feel like that's one of the most important pain points within the country. So hearing them say that they're improving technology with that regard, with drone deliveries, was very important to me, and I really love to hear that, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Let me talk to the other students. Come. The lady. Yes, for now. Okay, hello.
Hi,
What's your name, please?
Maxine Akosayadom,
And what are you studying?
Business Administration.
Business admin. What did you make of the speech?
Well, one thing I was able to get from it that was very significant for me was the fact that in 2022 we would not have to go with guarantors when we are going to acquire loans. Yes, and I think this is a very good initiative because in the past years where you have to go with people to be able to guarantee those loans, there was a whole tiring process because you now have to look for someone who is qualified enough to be able to lead you to get those loans. But then now that you can go by yourself, I think it's very great because now you wouldn't have to go through all the hustle and bustle. And I mean, as someone who's going to come out of the university in the next 3 years, I think it's very fine and it's very...
Have you tried taking a loan that way?
I haven't tried yet, but then from my interactions with people, they've gone through so much hassle and stress trying to find someone to be able to guarantee and then sign and everything for them. And I don't think I'd want to go through that stress because...
So apart from that, what did you get from the speech as an MIS student?
No, I'm a business administrator.
Business admin, sorry, what did you get?
Now that everything is going to go e-commerce, it's very good because it's going to give people easy access to... I mean, although data is pretty expensive, it's just going to give everybody easy access because now almost everybody has a smartphone. It's going to make business easier, faster, and everything of the sort.
Okay, all right. I'll talk to you again. Okay, let me talk to the gentleman here. Okay, so what's your name?
My name is Ohineba Kuriku Adudadi.
Ohineba, what are you studying?
I'm a computer science student.
Okay, computer science, that's digitization or digitalization. What did you make of the vice president's speech?
I really enjoyed the speech today because it gave me a lot of hope in the country. You know, as a computer science student, there's always uncertainty with regards to employment after school because of the current situation of the infrastructure when it comes to technology. But after the speech today, I've been reassured that the country is looking towards digitization, and as a result, I'll be able to apply my skills learned in school here to contribute to the country.
Let's turn to the camera so they can see your face well. Yeah, that's okay. So we can, they can see. Look at the camera; they can see you. So you are excited that the groundwork is being done to set up the country onto a good thing.
Yes, please.
So you think that from after university you'll be able to stay in Ghana and work?
Yes, I think this is assuring because most of the time people look outside, they look forward to going to the farm companies, but through this initiative, we might even have our own big tech companies here when time comes.
Okay, thank you and good luck. Okay, let me talk to. Let me. Okay, they want me to stand here. Okay. Yes, okay. So come with me. Yeah. Okay, what's your name, please?
I'm called Nana Oyeboche,
Nanoye, what are you studying?
biomedical engineering.
Biomedical engineering, that's interesting. What do you study in biomedical engineering?
Basically, we study the machines that are used in the hospitals.
The machines, the equipment used in the hospital?
Please.
Okay. So, for you, a biomedical engineer, what was your highest takeaway from this?
Okay, so I was very excited that Ghana is going to take part in the evolution of the world digitally, and I picked the digitalization of pharmacy, whereby we can get any medicine we want via the internet. So if you want any drug, you just go online, then you search the particular pharmacy you want to buy your drug from, then you get it.
Okay. How old are you?
I'm 20 years.
20. Okay. Let me talk to the information minister. I'll come back to you. Honorable information minister is going to join me now. Get it. Minister, say that again.
I was talking to a student of Ashesi University. You didn't go to Ashesi, so
I didn't.
No.
I wasn't privileged that way. Minister, let me ask you the big political question. Yeah. Okay, so Dr. Bawumia has spoken.
Yeah.
Your opponent said that Dr. Bawumia has been saying these things forever. He said in 2015, what happened? Nothing happened.
Oh, really?
That's what they said. Nothing happened, and there was no money in people's pockets. He said teachers are suffering. Teachers are still suffering. Nurses are suffering. Dr. Gideon Buaku told me that when he said teachers are suffering, he was talking about the teacher allowances that had been taken from them. That has been solved. It doesn't mean all the suffering is gone. But really, the general Ghanaian concern is that the economy is tight, and they believe that Dr. Bawumia was coming in to resolve this economic messiah. They feel that hasn't happened. So what should we make of a digitalization speech?
So, turning the Ghanaian economy around is not a single bullet item. You introduce a number of interventions that over a period help to turn the economy around. One of the sets of interventions is the whole digitization and digitalization agenda. And you can sweep it under the carpet and say, it's
Not
about
to turn to
money
the
in
camera.
pocket. Yeah. But if you take time to follow the presentation he's done tonight, he's explained how the various pillars of the digitization agenda are making the Ghanaian better off today in terms of productivity, how much more you can do within a short period of time without necessarily moving around because of all of these digital instruments. Your personal productivity goes up. The aggregate of that productivity opens up a lot of opportunities for the Ghanaian economy. So today there's a young person who can do some business, some more. Why? Because there's mobile money interoperability, because at the same time there's a national ID system that makes it easier for you to track and even get some credit from your mobile platform or whatever and purchase his or her goods. When I came to Ashesi University, there are students apparently who are doing business using a bit of Instagram.
While still in school?
While still in school, a bit of Instagram, a bit of mobile money interoperability, ID checks that are helping them to know which client they are perhaps selling to on credit, etc. So all of these things that we are talking about are not in a vacuum. They are bricks and layers that go a long way to help in the growth of the Ghanaian agenda.
Yeah, but still, the money in the pocket.
The money in the pocket comes at the end of the day when all of these things fit together. So it's important first to understand all of the things we are doing, one, and two, how it translates into money in the pocket. For example, if you take for example this whole conversation about applying for passports, for example. First of all, the amount of time, how much it would have cost you, that's money out of your pocket. Today, because of digitization and digitalization, you can get it faster just at the click of a button without going through guru persons, etc. That is keeping some more money in your pocket. So all of these have a way of making the Ghanaian better off at the end of the day, and that's what His Excellency is speaking to.
So what should be our biggest takeaway?
That Ghana has actually now arrived on the global map when it comes to the digitization and digitalization agenda. That's one. Two, in the short to medium term, the government of Ghana is going to do its best to move a lot of public service access platforms online. What it means is that it's easier and cheaper for you, the Ghanaian citizen, to access public services. The general penchant for corruption that we talk about, petty corruption, if you are trying to access this public service or that public service, will now gradually go down because the effect will be that now you don't need to interface with anybody to apply for some of these platforms. These are the ways in which it translates into benefits for the ordinary Ghanaian at home.
Thank you, Minister. Thank you. Okay, let me get, who haven't I spoken to? Yes. Oh, the thing they go on TV, don't worry. Yeah. Hello, so what's your name?
Mami Abnefi.
Mami Abna, what are you studying?
Management Information Systems.
Mami Abna, what did you make of the Vice President's speech?
I'm actually excited that the Vice President, who is one of the leaders of Ghana, is a frontier for digitization in Ghana, which means that Ghana is really taking a big step to improving ourselves, especially when it comes to digitization.
Go on, I'm listening.
I'm done.
Okay, so when you were coming here, you had an expectation. To what extent has your expectations been met?
Well, for a future entrepreneur, I think it's really good because he spoke about GRA, registering of companies, registering of the tax certificates online, which is very good because I don't have to go and stand in long queues to register my tax certificates, which I'm needing for contracts and all that. So I think it's really good that he's planning on making GRA registrations digital.
Thank you very much.
Okay, you say you're a future entrepreneur. What does that mean?
That means I believe I'll be one of the greatest entrepreneurs in Ghana, creating employment for the youth so that they don't leave Ghana.
What are you what are you going to be selling or trading or creating?
Well, I'm more into tourism. I believe Ghana is a hub for tourism, so I plan on creating a very nice atmosphere when it comes to tourism. I want Ghana to be mentioned when it comes to tourism in Africa.
Okay, so that's the vice president in the background ending. We'll take one more interview. We'll take one more interview. No. Hello. What's your name, please?
Business administration.
Yes. So what do you make of the speech? It's ending now.
I think it's been very enlightening. I mean, when you hear the digitization, one thing that most Ghanaians are scared of is the fact that it may not be inclusive. I mean, we have a great majority of people who are not educated in our country, but the vice president has made us aware of the fact that everybody is going to be involved, and I think it's very good. Yeah.
Okay, so as the national anthem is going on, we will bring our conversation here to a close. I'm on TV. Sorry.